Manchester United fans, stop scrolling. Lucy Noella here. Big news just dropped at Old Trafford today. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you never miss any United updates. Manchester United fans, get ready, because a new name is quietly entering the conversation as the January transfer window approaches. While the spotlight often shines on big money stars, this time the focus is on a teenage midfielder who is already turning heads across Europe. His name is Ayyoub Bouaddi, and he could be one of the most interesting young talents United are watching right now. At just 18 years old, Bouaddi has already built up level of experience that most players his age can only dream of. He plays for Lille in Ligue 1 and has grown rapidly into a key part of their midfield. Despite his young age, he carries himself like a seasoned professional, showing maturity, calmness on the ball, and tactical awareness well beyond his years. Since making his debut at only 17, he has gone on to rack up an impressive 74 senior appearances for Lille, which is a remarkable number for a teenager in a top European league. Manchester United are believed to see Bouaddi as a player who could strengthen their midfield options, especially as Ruben Amorim looks to shape the squad in his own image. United have been searching for energy, intelligence, and balance in the middle of the pitch, and Bouaddi fits that profile perfectly. He is comfortable in possession, presses well and reads the game smartly, qualities that modern top managers demand. Importantly, he is still developing, meaning United would not just be buying a player for now, but one for the future. However, this potential move is far from simple. Bouaddi's rise has not gone unnoticed across Europe. Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are also closely monitoring his situation, which instantly raises the stakes. When clubs of that level are involved, competition becomes fierce, prices rise quickly, and convincing the player becomes much harder. Lille are fully aware of the value of their young star and are under no pressure to sell cheaply, especially in the middle of the season. For Manchester United, this is the kind of transfer that could say a lot about their long-term strategy. Going for Bouaddi would show a commitment to smart recruitment and future planning rather than just short-term fixes. But with elite clubs circling, United would need to move decisively and present a clear project to convince the player that Old Trafford is the right place for his next step. As January draws closer, this is one story that could develop very quickly or quietly disappear behind the scenes. One thing is certain though, Ayoub Bouaddi is a name United fans should remember. Whether he ends up in Manchester or elsewhere, his journey is only just beginning, and the next few weeks could shape his future in a big way. Manchester United entered the new year with hope of building momentum, but the frustrating home draw against Wolves quickly reminded everyone why this January matters so much. Playing at Old Trafford against a team sitting at the bottom of the Premier League, United had control, territory, and chances. What they did not have was the sharpness and calm needed to finish the job. When the final whistle blew, it felt less like a single poor result and more like a summary of the season so far. This was a game United were expected to win, not debate. Dropping points in fixtures like this has become a worrying pattern, and it continues to slow down any real push up the table. Supporters left the stadium asking the same old questions about balance, depth, and consistency. Effort is clearly there, but effort alone has not been enough. When pressure arrives, the same weaknesses keep appearing in midfield control, defensive security, and attacking ruthlessness. Ruben Amorim is feeling that strain more than anyone. Injuries are piling up, form is inconsistent, and options are limited. Week after week, he is forced to reshuffle, often relying on players who are either not fully fit or not ideally suited to the roles they are being asked to play. The Wolves match highlighted how thin the margins are right now. United are not far from being competitive, but they are also not strong enough to paper over their flaws without help. That is why the January 2026 transfer window is being viewed internally as an opportunity to fix specific problems rather than tear everything down and start again. The club does not see this as a month for panic buys or flashy headlines. Instead, the focus is on targeted reinforcements that can immediately raise the level of the squad and support Amorim's ideas on the pitch. Midfield sits at the heart of those discussions. United's need for control, especially in the defensive midfield role, has been obvious for months. The number 6 position remains the clearest priority, with the club open to bringing in at least 1, and possibly 2, midfielders depending on who leaves. Elliot Anderson is highly rated internally, while Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba remain on the radar. However, there is a major obstacle. None of their clubs are willing to sell in the middle of the season. That reality underlines another key theme of United's January plans. Any arrivals are likely to depend on exits. The squad is already stretched, and the club is unwilling to weaken itself further by sending players out on straight loans with no guarantees in return. This has complicated several situations, especially in midfield, where uncertainty surrounds some of the most important names. Kobbie Mainoo is one of them. Interest from Napoli has grown, and the player himself would be open to a loan move for regular football. United, however, are reluctant to allow him to leave. Aware of how thin their midfield options already are, Manuel Ugarte's situation also remains unresolved, while Casemiro presents a particularly delicate case. He is approaching the final stage of his contract, earns significant wages, and no firm decision has yet been made on whether January is the right moment to part ways. Up front, clarity is also needed. United have looked short of ideas and confidence in attack at crucial moments, and that has fed into discussions about adding versatility and energy. Antoine Semenyo is a name that keeps coming up. United explored a move last summer and revisited it this winter, attracted by his flexibility across the front line and his fixed 65 million release clause. From a transfer fee perspective, the deal was manageable. From a wage perspective, it was not. That point is important because it reveals how United are approaching this window. According to reports, the club is determined to stick to a defined wage structure. Even players they admire will not be signed if it means breaking that framework. United want players who genuinely buy into the project, not those motivated mainly by salary or status. It is a clear shift in mindset, one that suggests discipline rather than desperation. Defensive cover is also being discussed, though again, only if the right opportunity presents itself. There is no appetite for short-term fixes that create bigger problems later. Every potential move is being weighed carefully against long-term squad planning and financial control. All of this means January may be quieter than some fans expect. Significant movement is far from guaranteed, but that does not mean nothing will happen. Inside the club, there is a strong belief that smart, targeted business could be the difference between drifting through the second half of the season and actually pushing forward. The Wolves' draw may have felt like a missed chance, but it also served as a clear warning. Manchester United are close, yet still short. This window is not about headlines or hype. It is about solving real problems, restoring balance, and giving Ruben Amorim the tools he needs to turn control into results. If United get their decisions right now, this frustrating season could still find a positive direction. If they do not, nights like the one against Wolves may continue to define their campaign. The January transfer window is getting closer, and once again, one familiar name is starting to dominate the rumors: Ruben Neves. This is a player Premier League fans know very well, and now his future is suddenly wide open. With a reduced transfer fee on the table, big English clubs are paying attention, and Manchester United fans are watching every move closely. Ruben Neves left the Premier League in 2023 when he joined Al Hilal, a move that surprised many at the time. Since then, the Portuguese midfielder has been a key figure for the Saudi club. He has already made 114 appearances, scoring 15 goals, and showing the same leadership, vision, and long-range shooting ability that made him famous in England. Before that move, Neves spent 6 strong seasons at Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he became a club icon. Across all competitions, he played 253 games for Wolves and scored 30 goals, many of them unforgettable strikes from outside the box. Because of that history, it is easy to understand why Premier League clubs are still interested. Neves is only 28 years old, experienced, calm on the ball, and proven in English football. For a club like Manchester United, who are still searching for consistency and leadership in midfield, he looks like a ready-made solution. If he were to return to England, Neves could quickly become an important part of Ruben Amorim's system, offering control, passing quality, and tactical intelligence. Reports suggest that Manchester United have already been in contact with Neves, even if no official bid has been made yet. This shows that the interest is real, not just media noise. However, the situation is not simple. Al Hilal are keen to keep their midfielder and have offered him a new improved 2-year contract. That puts the decision firmly in Neves' hands. He must now choose between staying in Saudi Arabia with a fresh deal or returning to the Premier League for a new challenge. What makes this story even more interesting is the transfer fee. According to TalkSport, Al Hilal are now willing to accept offers of $15 million or more if Neves decides not to sign the new contract. This is a significant drop from the previously reported $20 million asking price. In today's market, $15 million for a player of Neves' quality and experience looks like a bargain. That lower fee has immediately caught the attention of several clubs. Manchester United are not the only ones watching. Newcastle United and Leeds United have also been linked with the midfielder, showing that there could be real competition if Neves opens the door to a move. Still, despite all the talk, United have not yet made a formal approach as the January window approaches. Everything seems to be on pause until Neves makes a final decision about his contract. For now, fans will have to wait. The next move belongs to Ruben Neves. Once he decides whether to commit his future to Al Hilal or not, the transfer race could move very quickly. If he turns down the new deal, Premier League clubs will be ready to act. And if Manchester United truly want him, this could be their chance to secure a proven midfielder at a reduced price. As the countdown to January continues, all eyes remain on Neves and Manchester. One decision could change everything. And the next few weeks may tell us whether this familiar Premier League star is about to make a dramatic return to England or stay where he is. Thanks for watching. Now I want to hear from you. What's your reaction to this United news? Drop a comment, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the next update.